Hi y'all. If you're just finding my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Mandy, and I'm going to start by saying, as you can see, I'm not a professional at this. I do have a better camera, but I'm still working on critiquing my editing skills because right now they are lacking quite a bit. Excuse the way that I look as well. I've been out by the pool today. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in because something else I'm going to do is I'm going to have to work on really dialing down the timing on these videos. Y'all, I just get on here and I just talk too damn much for too damn long, okay? So I'm going to try to stay on track and not take, well, I'm not going to tell a lie and say I'm never going to take another rabbit trail, but I'm going to try to take a lot less. So I'm going to jump right in by saying that I had weight loss surgery. I had gastric sleeve in June of 2020. And since then, in the past, well, I lost all the weight that I lost with the gastric sleeve within the first, I'm going to say almost a year. I'll go back and look at my notes. I'm a pen and paper kind of person. And I'll put on the screen if I need to correct myself. But it was within the first year. And I say that because, or by that I mean the surgery really doing the magic that it does. And then once that honeymoon phase is over, as they call it, requires a little more work. And y'all, it wasn't that I didn't try or I just, was doing whatever with my food and not exercising. I feel like I have been in a caloric deficit, and I know a lot of people are going to come for me, or maybe not here, my people. My people are really nice. A lot of people would debate what I'm about to say as far as caloric deficit, and even I myself find this to be kind of, weird because I am on the team of calories in versus calories out. It's science. But something was wrong in the mix for me. I was doing something wrong, and I still don't know what it was. I'm not going to say that I was never overeating, because, clearly I had to be, but I didn't feel like I was at the time, if that makes any sense. And I think because I'm a grazer, my stomach just doesn't feel good if I sit down and try to eat like a large meal at once. I just feel better, especially since gastric sleeve, if I just eat a few bites here and there. And I think I just really wasn't being very mindful of the bites of things that I was taking, and I started eating sugar again, which for me causes inflammation, and just, it was a mix of things. It wasn't just any one thing, I don't believe. But I feel like, just, at a glance, that I've been in a caloric deficit for, well, since 2020. But I hit this stall. Now, your body can become accustomed and adapt to, your routine, your whatever you're doing, whether it be with your nutrition, workouts, everything. It can adapt. Our bodies are just fascinating that way. That's the word I'm looking for. But what I was doing was just no longer working. Well, during all that time, or during that time of just me literally at my wit's end and thinking, well, my body's just broke, or this is my set point, and I might as well just face the facts. 180, 175, 180-ish is just where my body's going to fight like hell to stay. Now, my body does fight like hell to stay there. And this is not the first time that I have lost a massive amount of weight and and been stuck at around the same numbers, 175 to 180, low 180s. But I thought that the surgery was going to be the magic thing that changed that. Turns out, no, my body got there and was like, oh, okay, we remember this area. This is where we like it. This is where it's not a struggle for, for us to be. And I say us like I'm talking about two different bodies, but you get what I'm saying. Your body likes to be comfortable. So that is where my body feels the most comfortable. But it's not where I want my body to be comfortable. So the weight loss surgery didn't do what I thought it was going to do as far as that goes. Now, I have no regrets with the weight loss surgery as of today. But what the weight loss surgery has definitely, beyond the shadow of a doubt, helped me to do is to keep that weight off. There's the thunder. Now you're probably going to hear my dog barking. For whatever reason, he feels like every time it thunders, he should thunder too, I guess, is what he thinks he's doing. I don't know. But anyway, when I lost the weight before, I gained it back when I faced probably the hardest bout with depression that I've ever had. And I'm not going to go into depth about that with this video. Like I said, I want to stay on track with these videos. Maybe I'll make a different video about that. But keeping on track with, the weight. I lost the weight, gained the weight, lost the weight, had a 20-pound regain. And I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I've had it. Like, I really was about to just lose my shit, so to speak. So the day I went and got on the scale, I'm a daily weigher, and I'm going to try to talk over the storm that we're having here right now in West Virginia. I got on the scale and it said 199.9, and I said no. My words were actually, oh, hell no. So I got dressed, went and seen my doctor that day as a walk-in, and I was like, look, I've been hearing some stuff and reading up on some stuff about this shot called Saxenda. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need you to give me that. My doctor is a family friend as well, so I can just talk to her like I'm talking to this camera right now. And she wasn't quick to give it to me, at least not that day. She said that she hadn't heard much about that one, or anything about that one, I'm sorry, to let her do her own research on it, read up on it, call some of her colleagues, and get their input on it, and then she would give me a call back and see if it was something that she would be willing to give me. So she done that, and the following week she called me and she said, your script is called in at the main man down the street, Herb. He's our guy. He's our pharmacist in town. I live in a very small town, by the way. And it's ready for you to pick up. Your insurance is going to cover it. Your copay's $50. She already found all that out for me. So I went and got it that day, started it that day, and I seen good results with it. But for whatever reason, my insurance just decided, hey, we no longer want to pay for this for you. And that was during the end of last year. Might have actually been the year before that. I'll correct myself on the screen when need be, which happens a lot on these videos if you don't know. I mispronounce things. I say things wrong. I think things sound right in my head, but don't sound right when I go back and listen. But shortages started happening before my insurance said they didn't want to pay for it anymore. I'm trying to rethink and make sure I don't tell you something wrong, but it all happened about the same time. And then, of course, because, my body is just wild the way that it is. We can't just face one thing at a time, because that's just, it has to be chaos or nothing over here. Turns out my blood work showed that I was, after being perimenopause since my early 30s, which makes weight loss even harder, as if it's not hard enough for most of us. I was now full-blown menopause. My thyroid decided it was time for it to go haywire. I was no longer pre-diabetic. I was full-blown type 2, which is genetic in my family. So I had all these things going on at the same time, because one alone is not enough to make you crazy enough. So you can imagine. And then with all of that happening, of course, naturally, my anxiety is going to go berserk and out of control. And so my medicine for that, being completely just putting it all out there. I am on medication for depression and anxiety. For so long, that has been a taboo thing, and now it's like, it's normal, I guess, whatever that is. I feel like everybody's normal is different, but whatever. My medication was just not cutting it anymore, so my dose had to be upped. And I'm not sure, it was probably everything that I was going through, on top of it being a medication that you just gradually increase. And so it was time anyway, thank the good Lord above. So yeah, just a bunch of stuff happened. And so the shot at least took one thing off my plate, the Saxenda. I lost that 20-pound regain, so I felt a little better about that. But then here comes my insurance saying, nah, cutting you off. And so since my blood work came back that I was full-blown, all the things above, and that my A1C had been what it was long enough for as many rounds of blood work for my doctor to determine you're type 2. You're no longer hanging in the balance. You're type 2. She put in a request for my insurance to cover Mounjaro. They approved it. And again, we're in these shortages, and I was like, she's like, do you want to start it since, it's shortages? Wait a minute, rewind. I went back on Mounjaro, or metformin, for the second time, because the first time I was on it, I was like, I can't do this. Nope. So I called her and told her, I was like, look, I quit taking that. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, but I can't take that. And so she put me back on the metformin, because she said, we need to, I need to at least say, as of recent, you cannot take this Mounjaro. Because she's like, I'm not going to, fib. I need you to take it. Well, I'm going to call in the script. You go pick it up from our man Herb down the street. What you do with it, you don't need to tell me. She said, but I'm giving it to you and assuming that you're going to take it like all the other prescriptions. And I was like, got it. But I really did try to take it again. Because there's so many people in my family that are type 2 and a few that are actually type 1. And I'm like, that's nothing to play around with. You know what I mean? And y'all, I just could not. I'm like, and there's people that I know personally that are on that medication that are on 3 times the amount of milligrams that I was on. And I was like, I don't know how these people function. I don't know how they leave their house, because I was struggling to leave the house at the lowest dose that, the dose that she started me out on. I was like, there ain't no way. No way. And so I called her after, I think I gave it like 2 weeks. I called my doctor, and I was like, okay, this is a no-go. I really did attempt it. And so that day, I made sure I called her early. She called in the Mounjaro to my insurance. I was approved. The prescription was called in to my pharmacy before lunch. So if you don't have a doctor like that, keep searching. Hopefully you'll find one in your area, because she's great. And so that is kind of my backstory as far as my journey since weight loss surgery, leading up to, what led me to go down the path of weight loss story. That'll have to be for another video, because again, it's just going to make this too long. So I am now down over 100 pounds. I'll give my numbers at the end of this video, so stick around for that. And I include both my numbers for the start of GLP-1, Mounjaro, and weight loss surgery, because I know a lot of you have been here with me since weight loss surgery, and I don't ever want to fail to mention that, because it has been a huge part of my journey. I don't ever want to be a person that acts like weight loss surgery didn't do its thing because I didn't get to my goal weight, within that honeymoon period or whatever, because I don't necessarily feel like a bariatric patient anymore, but sometimes when I'm eating, especially now since I'm on GLP-1, but even before then, really the only time that I was reminded of it was when I would be trying to eat, and I'd be like, okay, I would do like what I call a hiccup burp. It's like a hiccup and burp at the same time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to stop, because my stomach is not a full, stomach. I have a sleeve, and I'm going to get sick if I literally take one more bite. That is the times that I feel like a bariatric patient, being 4 years out, of course. But I will always be a bariatric person. I hate to say patient, because I'm not under the care of my bariatric surgeon anymore, but you get my drift, what I'm trying to say. But I will always be treated as a bariatric patient in a lot of ways, with just my, everyday health care. Any healthcare visit, any of the doctors that I go to, like my hematologist, gastrointestinal, you know what I mean, the stomach doctor. The weight loss surgery that I had is front and center. So in that perspective, yes. But I'm saying on my day-to-day life, it doesn't feel like it did within that first year. And I say that I feel like I could have lost the weight that I lost within that first year, only because I had done it before. Now, granted, since I had all this other stuff going on, like menopause and thyroid and all that, it would have made it a little harder. So taking all of that into consideration, maybe I wouldn't have been able to do it. Who knows? I just say that I could have, because I've done it before. And I just like to think that I'm a superwoman in that way. But I don't know. I'm not 30 anymore either. So, but I definitely feel like I wouldn't have been able to keep it off, given all those things that hit me all at once. So that is when I feel like the weight loss surgery was really crucial in my journey. So I don't ever want to fail to leave that out, or mention it like it's not relevant, because it really is. And now that I'm on a GLP-1, now that I'm on Mounjaro, it feels like I'm back in that honeymoon phase since, that first 6 months or so after weight loss surgery. And now that I am over 100 pounds, and I'll tell you the exact numbers here in just a minute, I'm starting to see more loose skin than I did. I mean, naturally, I'm going to see more loose skin the more weight that I lose. Okay, so let me get into the numbers. As far as side effects, not really having any side effects anymore. I am on week, I'll put it right here somewhere. I'm on week 17, but I was going to say I'm on week, whatever that number is right here, of 7.5 milligram. I am noticing that some of my hunger is returning. But I'm not going to reach out to my doctor and at my dose or at my milligrams because I'm still only able to eat a few bites and then I'm full. So the hunger is really not freaking me out. Let's not forget that hunger is a natural reaction to your body needing fueled. My goal never was, you can go back and watch my first video on Mounjaro. From day one, I said my goal is to not ever feel hungry. I've not changed my mind on that. So the hunger's not freaking me out because I'm not able to eat like massive amounts of food. I probably wouldn't be able to anyway because gastric sleeve. Okay, so somebody's at my bedroom door. Okay, the side effects that I was having before, being tired, and I had some headaches, not experiencing that anymore. What I am experiencing is that the last few weeks, and I've just forgot to mention it. I actually might have mentioned in my last video. I can't remember. Heartburn. I'm having some heartburn that the Prilosec is not controlling. So that's really the only thing. But I do eat a lot of spicy foods because I love them. So I just keep those Tums on hand, or the Alka-Seltzer chewy things on hand, and it wipes it away real quick. But if I eat too many of those, I have that sulfury taste in my mouth that a lot of people have with the GLP-1 anyway. It's gross. I think the heartburn is worse than that taste. So I just go ahead and chew them anyway. So that's it on side effects. Let's get into the numbers. My high weight before weight loss surgery was 259.2. The day of surgery, I weighed in on the hospital scale at 250. When I started Saxenda, I weighed in, like I said, 199.9. When I started Mounjaro, I hit the scale at 177. That was after tummy tuck. That regain that I talked about happened after my tummy tuck. So add in with all those things, the fact that I was not able to get up and exercise as normal for a long time during that time. Last week I weighed in at 153.6. This week I weighed in at 151.8. From the beginning of my weight loss journey, I said that my goal was 150-ish. So I'm still keeping that the same on the ish as far as the ish goes, but I'm taking it down at least 5 more pounds because the BMI scale, and for shits and giggles, like I said. Because I really don't, I've got more fat on my body, but I can't control where it's coming off, and I don't want to walk around like a marshmallow on a toothpick type of thing, because I have small legs anyway and no ass. So let me just leave that there. So I guess at this point, once I hit that 145, at that point, I'll start getting into that plan that I mentioned before, which involves some body recomp, which is going to be really tricky. And again, I'm not going to take that rabbit trail again. That's for a later video. So stick around. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that now. Hit those notifications, that bell, if you want to follow that journey and see what I'm talking about the trickiness of body recomp. If you didn't know, I used to be really into lifting weights years ago too. Before I had a kid, and my body does what it does. So, with those numbers and me telling you what I weighed this week, that means that since my high weight, I am down 107.4 pounds. Since my day of surgery, I'm down 98.2 pounds. Since starting the GLP-1 for the first time, which was Saxenda. I'm down 48.1 pounds. Since starting Mounjaro, I'm down 25.2 pounds. And since last week, I'm down 1.8 pounds. I think that's pretty good. Now, there's people that will lose a lot more. But again, I'm looking at the big picture. My body has already lost a huge amount of weight. So I'm not going to come on here and be able to say that I've lost even the 1.8 pounds in a week, every week. And I knew from the beginning, and I mentioned this in my first video, you can go back and watch that, I never expected to drop large amounts of weight each week. And I said that just because I know my body. For one, I'm a slow loser, and my body was already really been in a deficit for an extended amount of time, so I wasn't expecting to be a big loser on GLP-1 either. I wasn't expecting any fireworks to go off, so to speak. But it has helped with menopause cravings, which was one of my main goals. Crazy that I've noticed since being on the 7.5 that it has helped with the hot flashes. I know I said I was hot a while ago having a flash. I don't think it was a hot flash. It's just hot in here where I turned the air conditioner off. Food noise is gone. I don't think about food the way that I did. And I'm going to do a video on that too, about the food noise and how weight loss surgery actually gave me food noise. I know that sounds crazy, but it's a thing. So stay tuned for that and stick around if that's something that interests you. But I'm sleeping better. My A1C is good. I can't believe I didn't say that from the beginning, but and I broke free of that 175, 180-ish range that I just thought my body was just going to stay at forever. That it always fights tooth and nail to stay at. So, another reason that I don't plan to go past the 7.5 is that I'm almost at my goal weight. I'm almost at the point where I can say, okay, I'm not going to focus so much on the scale. So, the weight loss aspect of it is no longer going to be a factor for me. And actually, it will probably come full circle to where I end up back on, well, not full circle, but I'll probably drop back down to the 5 milligrams, to be honest, once I reach my goal. But I'll discuss that with my doctor, see what she thinks, and we'll report back on that. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video because it's still longer than what I wanted it to be. So I'm probably going to edit some of this out, but we'll see. So I hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for watching. If you've not subscribed, go ahead and do that, and I will talk to you guys in a week.